Oh well, I've done a few things and it's time to take another run on this machine. I've changed the oil filler cap and dipstick assembly for one that's got its seal around the top, and also I've made sure that the pinhole breather is open, so that might help. I've attended to a leak that I found on this inlet rocker box oil feed. The exhaust one seemed to be alright. I've replaced that cylinder head stud, which had a strip thread at the top of it and the nut wasn't very good, so I put another one in, tightened that down. I've redone the tappet cover, changed the gasket on that, gone around the timing cover screws. Obviously I had the rocker box covers off and went around the cylinder head nuts, and tightened the rocker box cover screws down nice and tightly as well. Checked over various things actually, so the only thing to do now is go and try it out. And what I might do this time, I'm going to take a slightly different route today, and I may well stop part way round one or more times and just have a glance down at the timing side of the engine and see how it's looking and decide whether I feel like carrying on or not, and do it that way. So as usual, I'm off to get my jacket and helmet, and we'll go for a little run on it soon, and hopefully, if we don't see the oil leaks entirely fixed, hopefully they'll be vastly reduced. But no leaks would be nice, but that might be a big ask. I'll get ready and we'll go and find out. Okay, test ride number 2. Hopefully we might not get quite so oily as last time around, all being well. And we'll see what we get for our troubles. I've done a few things, so hopefully, like I said earlier, I'm hoping that I will have at least improved matters, although totally fixed would be nice. Anyway, let's go and find out how it goes this time. I'm going to take a more scenic ride this time as well. Take my fuel up a bit. It's still not charging, but I've got the battery charged up, so at least the brake light will work. and round. Because, as we can see, we've got a huge oil leak there. That is dripping on top of the dynamo. That's coming from that rocker oil feed pipe, and I've also got heavy leaks on this tappet cover and probably elsewhere as well. I can't make this out at all. It's ridiculous. I'm going to turn it round and take it home before it wrecks itself. It's got new oil pumps in it. Oh, what's wrong with this thing? I've just about had enough. I think I'm going to put it away and go and work on something else for a while. Next thing is, if I'm not careful, I'll be on my backside. It's a great shame because it is running rather well. Well, take a good long look at that rocker oil feed pipe. Hopefully there might be enough oil left in the damn thing to get me home. under one of those forklifts. We'll leave it here. We'll have a better look at what complete mess this thing is in. Alright, when it wants to go forward, does it? I mean, this is just ridiculous. You wouldn't think you could manage to pump the oil around in such quantity. Look at that. Filthy. And I just can't tell for sure where it's all coming from. Anyway, somehow, in the back of my mind, I knew that I probably hadn't seen the back of this, but I really am running out of ideas now. I just don't know where all that lot's come from. You'd think that the engine just had a big hacksaw slot in it right the way down. A mess it's made of itself. As you can tell, I'm not happy. I've really tried hard with this one, and I'm getting to the point where I haven't got many ideas left, and my enthusiasm is starting to wane, unfortunately. It might have to get put away, and maybe I'll have a look at it after I've done some other things. But it's testing my patience, my nerves and my ideas to the extreme. I really thought that it would have at least been better than it was before. If anything, it seems to be worse. Look at that oil. I suppose it's not going to rust in a hurry. That's not really what we want. Well, here we are again, back with this 1951 350 Royal Enfield Bullet, back on the bike lift after that last ride where it seemed to sort of coat itself in even more oil than it did on the first time out. I haven't wiped the engine down clean yet because I'm going to let as much of it as possible drip off into those catch trays rather than waste rags mopping it up to start with. But I've dealt with a couple of things, and I will be trying it again, not today but when I'm ready to. I've taken the large boss out of the cylinder head. I did with this one the other day actually, and fitted a new copper washer behind that one, which seemed to sort out a bit of leakage that I had from between the head and the big boss for the rocker feed union. But I noticed after the ride today, where I turned round early and came back, there was, although this one was dry, all around here was quite wet, and oil was dripping from underneath the carburettor. We could see it on the fins there, and there was a leak from this. So I've changed from copper washers to fibre washers either side of the banjo on the banjo bolt, but I took the boss out of the cylinder head, cleaned the threads up with solvent, get any oil residue off them, and I've refitted it with a light sort of thread locking compound which will hopefully hold it tightly and seal it as well. There's also a fibre washer on it, of course. But I really wasn't convinced that the leak that I saw coming from that was responsible for everything that was covering the engine and a lot of the bike. I've already changed that, as we know, and I started looking at the mag dyno, and I noticed that we've got a lot of oil around here, and you sort of think, well, how did the oil get up onto some of the fins? If that leak is under control, as we can see it's nice and clean and dry there, but it seemed to me that oil was getting flung by something, and I thought, what can be flinging it? Perhaps it's something to do with the magneto drive. So I decided that I'd take the timing cover off and the drive gear for the magneto, and sure enough, if we look in there, you can see there's the correct parts in there. There's the wavy spring washer and a felt seal. The only problem is that they're in the wrong order. The felt seal should be pushed hard up against the back of the timing cover by the wavy washer, but you might be able to see there, or just take my word for it if not, that the wavy washer is up against the back of the timing case and the felt seal is up against the face of the mag dyno. So they're in there in the wrong order, so that seal is not going to do anything. I know felt seal's not great anyway, but it's not going to work at all that way round. What it's meant to do is it's meant to seal on the end of that shoulder on the gear there, but I don't think that shoulder reaches in far enough to seal on that, and I think we've had oil getting thrown around in the timing case and blown out the back there, and most of the oil has been getting flung through that gap that we see there between the back of the mag dyno, or the face of the mag dyno cover then on the drive end, and the back of the timing case. I know that my torch isn't showing this up too well, but you can just hopefully make out a gap there, and that is a big opening when you've got hot oil, possibly under a little bit of crankcase pressure as well, although I think that the breathing side of things are probably alright, to be honest, but it's certainly a nice easy way out for lots of oil. So I'm going to take a look at dealing with that, and I think that might just about crack it this time. I'm so glad I found that, because I was getting really disheartened with this, and I just thought to myself, I think I'll take that mag dyno off and just have a look just to be sure. And like I say, I'm glad I did. So I'll be taking a look at that seal arrangement and put it all back together and then try it again. Another little detail that I'm going to try and take a look at and see if I can do something about is the drive, the drive gear on the dynamo. Look at the end of the screw or bolt that holds that gear in place, and look at the gear as well. As I rotate the big gear on the magneto backwards and forwards, we can see there's a bit of slop in there. And that's the source of quite a bit of noise, I would imagine. So notice a lot of these old bikes with mag dynos can make a bit of a racket where the magnetos and the dynamos are. They probably shouldn't, and they can probably run for quite a long time making a noise, because I would imagine that took a fair few miles to get like that. I'm going to see what, if anything, I can do about it, and if I can firm it up a little bit, it might help quieten the overall time inside of the engine down. So I'll have a look at that, as well as trying to deal with this seal arrangement that was put in the wrong order, and doing absolutely nothing towards holding the oil in between the timing case, the back of the timing case, and the mag dyno. So I'm on it, see what I can get done and hopefully improve it. Well, I'm happy to say that didn't take very long at all to put right. This tightened up quite a few turns, and that's what we've got now. It's taken out all that slop and backlash between the dynamo gear and the shaft that it runs on. Obviously there's still that tiny little bit of backlash between the teeth of the big gear and the small gear, but none of that clunk 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 that there was before. And I think that'll go a long way towards quietening things down a little bit when the engine's running, rather than having that clattering and rattling around. So fingers crossed, we might get this oil leak fixed at last, and we might also get the time inside of the engine quietened down by some degree, all being well. We'll see how we get on.